This video has been put together to just briefly discuss what a good calendar looks like and how you get to where you have a good calendar. So I'll try to do this very briefly. It's just an example. I'll start out with Monday and just this very important first part of Monday. Obviously, Monday is not the best day to do your prospecting. There's just simply so much going on for customers when they come back from a long weekend. They've got things piled up. They're typically trying to get caught up. They're trying to plan for the week. They're trying to get things done. So it's important that you take full advantage of what you do during that timeline. So I'll talk to you briefly about Eloqua campaigns and making sure that you're setting yourself up for the future of this week and the following week and every week, really. So if you get into a routine, that's the best way to create a calendar. It looks like this, and we'll go through each component of this calendar here briefly. Make sure you know precisely who you're going to be calling on your Blitz Day. Now, your Blitz Day may or may not fall on a Wednesday, but know who you're going to call on that day, because Monday is the perfect time to go ahead and do a Blitz campaign with your Eloqua marketing. So Eloqua marketing on Monday, obviously in that morning timeline, you have time to clean up your opportunities. You have time to track down any orders that may have gotten hung up in the mix. Your manager has opportunities to conduct wrap sessions with you. You're going to have team events, you're going to have marketplace events, things of that nature, but you also have an opportunity in that Monday morning timeline to really prepare yourself for the rest of Monday as well as the rest of the week and plan strategically. This whole thing is about sticking to and holding yourself accountable to your calendar. So as you can see, there's a number of appointments or opportunities for appointments throughout this calendar. So ideally, all these red spaces would be appointments as well. I understand that that's not going to happen overnight. So certainly having 3 appointments a day makes sense at a minimum. And then you're shooting for 5 appointments a day. So if you've got a couple of extra spots there, think about what you can do with that time in the the field, so to speak, next to where that appointment's going to take place. Or if I've gone to an appointment or I just finished an appointment, then hey, there's opportunity for me to go out and see people that are in that immediate vicinity that are all in my R force, and that are my contacts or my ZBAs. So as you'll see, I'll start here again on Monday. Monday doesn't end at 4 o'clock. It doesn't end at 4:30. It doesn't end at 5 o'clock. It doesn't really end at 5:30. The more you work, the more effort you put into it, the more money you're going to make, the more productive you're going to be on these subsequent days. So find time in the afternoon to place those calls into ZBA accounts and those machines in the field accounts, because ultimately that's when the decision makers are going to be there and decision makers are going to answer the phone. And notice that every day does not start at 8 o'clock. It actually starts at 7 o'clock, and you have opportunity to do phone prospecting prior to 8 o'clock again. More decision makers will be there. You'll have a better opportunity of getting hold of those decision makers. Hey, if you're not making phone prospecting calls, you've got time to do business, social media research. So planning who you're going to call every day, there's an opportunity to do that on business social media. Certainly every morning you should take some time to make sure your R Force is up to date from the day before. You're updating opportunities and proposals. Every day here, I've got calls in the calendar. Every day. So you look here, could be 25, could be 35, 45. I've got 25 plugged in. I've got machines in the field because on this one day that week, you're going to have a ZBA blitz opportunity. But notice I'm doing MIF, so machines in the field, and one of 3 business functions that day. One of 3 business functions that day. One of 3 business functions that day. So what I mean by that is maybe this day, I'm calling all of HR in one part of my zip code. On this day, I'm calling all of HR in another part of my zip code. And on this day, I'm calling all of HR in a third area of my zip code. I might be mixing up. I might be doing HR on Tuesday. I might be doing accounts payable on Thursday. And I might be doing marketing on Friday. But the opportunity there exists to plan strategically to get deeper and wider into these accounts. We'll talk about how you can get your calendar to look like this calendar. I'll reiterate how important it is that we do some sort of prospecting every day, right? So Monday, again, even if you're not actually calling people on Monday, because we talked about Monday not being a good day of the week to be calling people on, you should be doing Eloqua campaigns. So that's still a form of prospecting. So that is a form of prospecting that you can get done even when people are very busy catching up with their week and getting prepared for their week. So on Monday mornings, Eloqua, that's a great thing to be doing to make sure that you're setting yourself up for the rest of the week. And then on Tuesday, every day, again, you're going to do some business social media prospecting. You're going to need to do some phone prospecting, and that happens every single day. You do have a day that you're going to be doing ZBA Blitz prospecting. I'll reiterate again, it's very important to be prepared. You don't want to be preparing for that Blitz on that day. You want to be preparing for that Blitz prior to that day. And then so again, every morning you should take some time to do some social media research and phone prospecting. So research the people you're going to be prospecting into and do some phone prospecting into that organization. Now, if you're doing this every day, what you're going to find is you are going to be using your Eloqua strategically. You're going to find that, hey, if I'm taking some time to do Eloqua every day, just a little bit every day, and then following up the next day on that Eloqua campaign that I sent out, Eloqua that day, following up on the Eloqua campaign I sent out, then it becomes a much more strategic tool for you. Let's talk about how important it is, though, that you set your territory up correctly. So what I would always encourage people to do is, number one, divide your territory into 4 different segments, right? So I've got 4 different segments of my territory. By the way, everything that you need to be calling on is in your territory. It's in your R4. So it's a list-based territory structure. It's list-based, and a lot of people want to treat it like it's zip code based. Well, I'm going to help you out and show you how you can treat it like it's zip code based, even though it's a list-based territory. So what I want you to think about is let's say on any given week of a month, you've got 4 weeks in a month. So week 1, you should always spend your time in that part of your territory. Week 2, you should always spend your time in this section of your territory. And if you work around clockwise, you can do it either way you want to. But week 3, you want to spend your time in this section of your territory. And then week 4, you want to do it in this section of your territory. So the reason that's important and something that we really need to be aware of is when we're calling into our accounts, we still sometimes want to treat our accounts as if they have one contact. The fact is there's different business functions within every organization. So each business function typically has a contact. So I'm going to prospect by business function every day of the week, and then I'm going to set up my appointments by business function during my prospecting efforts. So some of the advantages you get from that are that you really get to understand what you're going to hear, what kind of objections you're going to get. You get to get on a roll because the conversations that you're having throughout the day as you're setting up appointments and the objections that you're hearing throughout the day as you're setting up appointments, they all become very familiar to you. Anybody that, so for an example here, on week 1 or whatever week in the month that I'm setting up my appointments for week 1, I might be calling into my human resources. Well, if I'm calling human resources and I get an appointment for week 1 the following month, perfect. Make another call, another call, another call. Hey, I get another appointment for the first week of the next month. Perfect. Continue calling. Maybe my hit rate's good. I get another appointment for the following month. Hey, guess what? If for some reason I start running into some pushback, some people that don't want to see me the following month in week 1, well, I can go ahead and say, well, let's look at 2 months out. I'm going to be in that area of my territory on the first week of every month. So if I'm in May and I'm setting appointments for June, then I get all my appointments for week 1 in June in this part of my territory with, again, let's say HR, human resources. And then somebody pushes back, no, I'm actually going to be out of town that week. Okay, well, how about this? How about we look at July? And I set appointments for July in that week, right? And if that happens more than once, happens a couple of times, that's not a problem for me. I just set appointments for the following month in July, right? And I continue to work through and set my appointments for this week. Continue to work through and set my appointment for this week. Now, once I get through with all my prospecting that I'm going to do for that week, hey, by the way, that whole week I'm setting up appointments for that week 1. I'll call it zip code 1. Then I might have a zip code area number 2. And that's okay. Even if all of my sheets that I run in RForce are divvied up by business function and then divvied up by zip code, and I run out of zip codes for week 1, and I'm still calling. Well, that's fine. Just start setting up for week 2 if it's this part of your territory, and keep setting up for week 2 and setting up for week 2 and setting up for week 2. And guess what? If they can't see you in the second week of June, hey, I'm on vacation that week. That's not going to be a good week for me. Well, I'm in that part of my territory every month. How about we look at July, and you set the appointment for the second week in July. If they continue, if you have troubles even there, look at the next month. Hey, look, how about if we do this in August? Again, I'm there every month. So I'll do this in the second week of August. And then I continue to make appointments for those months. So this helps me live in a 90-day calendar, not a 30-day calendar. And again, the same philosophy for each one of these weeks as I'm going through scheduling my appointments. I run into a problem, schedule it for the following month. So instead of June, set it for July. Set it for July. Set it for July. Can't see me in July? Can't see me in June? Set it for August. Set it for August. Right? And what you'll find out is you very quickly begin to start setting appointments further down the road than you have thought about doing in the past. And so when I get to July, I'm going, hey, I'm in July, and look, I've already got 2 appointments in this week. I've got 3 appointments in this week. I've got 3 appointments in this week. Man, that means I need to go ahead and get, you should have 15 appointments throughout the week. So you're going to have, again, 3 to 5 already set up if you're doing this right. And you continue to do that again and again and again, month over month over month. That is how you can end up looking at a calendar that looks like this.